Hi everyone. So welcome to another video. In this video, we'll look at how we can control costs on AWS, especially when we are doing agentic AI. And we'll look at five prominent strategies in which we can control costs, because sometimes with agentic AI implementations, costs can become exponential, and very soon you would see that the the trade-off between cost and value are not adding up, right? So me and my team, we help and build we help building and deploying production grade agentic AI systems on AWS, which cater to high risk document and workflow processes, and that too we do it with compliance, audit, and systems which are cost efficient, right? So if you think you want help in anything related to that or anything like that, you can book a call with us, and we'll see if we can help you, right? Moving on to the video. And by the way, this is one of my favorite topics when it comes to agentic AI, because without cost efficiency, there's I mean there is no point in doing AI, right? So if we couldn't reduce costs and efficiency, why bother doing agentic AI, right? So ultimately the goal is to reduce costs and automate workflows which were manual. So in that way you reduce manual work which was happening, redundant work. And also, in doing that, if you are increasing the cost on your AWS system, then things don't add up, right? So you have to do the processes or automations with cost in mind. And I'm sure if you're watching this video till now, you uh, you basically agree with me on that. And that's why this becomes a very important topic. And a lot of times people are able to implement agentic AI, but the design has been such that costs have totally uh, been neglected, so to speak. So you keep on adding the features, and in that way the usage of LLMs skyrocket. And when you use LLMs for things or for stuff which were not required, then obviously it don't help you at the end, right? So that is why I wanted to create this video, so that we can do it with cost in mind. So moving on, I'll basically summarize, or basically comment on five strategies generally we use in our implementations. And also we'll see in the real code, couple of places where we kind of used a couple of those strategies, so that you get an idea as to internally what is happening as well. But first we will look into the concepts, so that things are pretty clear. So first, let's see how costs explode in agentic systems, as I was telling, right? So obviously, if you have already built an agentic AI system, or you have some knowledge on that, you would know that in those systems we use multiple agents, right? So if you are doing a contract review, that would generally involve having a risk agent, compliance agent, maybe explainability, for explainability a separate agent, or combined into risk and compliance, and then a decision agent, which ultimately tells you whether it requires human approval or not, right? um, and so you have a lot of LLM calls happening. That is the main reason why costs can explode or become exponential, right? And the contract size could be large. It could be well beyond 10k tokens, 20k tokens. By the way, one token, you can think of it as 4 characters, something like that. And So that is why, when you have so many tokens going into an LLM request, then obviously the costs would be higher, because the the AWS charges you based on the total token usage, and obviously the model, the kind of model you are using, right? Those are the two ways in which AWS charges you, right? And then the third point being retries and secondary validations, which we are doing in step functions as a normal process. And obviously, you try to make output look great, and things of those sorts. So those things can explode the costs, right? So now let's look at what are the strategies we can employ to reduce the cost or make all these systems which we are trying to build more cost efficient, right? Number one is model selection strategy. Now, if you keep on using a premium model because it gives you accurate responses and better responses all the time, very soon you will realize that it was better, I didn't build the system itself, right? Because the whole and sole purpose of using agentic AI stuff in the first place was to reduce costs so that manual workflows can be automated. Now if you automate stuff and you increase costs, then it doesn't give you that advantage which you were looking to in the first place. So obviously it's a bad approach to use premium models or great models, so to speak, for everything. So you start with lightweight model, let's say for clause extraction or classifying the different clauses under various buckets. I'm talking about a contract review process here, because that is what we do day in day out. And so light model for such stuff, and then strong model you can use for, let's say, compliance related stuff or final decision summary. Even for risk analysis, you may not go for a strong model, you can go for a cheaper model, and for compliance checks you can go for a stronger model. So in that way you can design your system keeping the model selection strategy in mind. Then second, and this is I think most overlooked, because when you're trying to build systems, you don't sometimes understand the number of tokens which are moving into the LLM and the number of tokens which are coming out from the LLM, because that comprises the major cost along with the model cost, right? So we have to see how we can minimize the input token usage here, right? So to do that without compromising on the accuracy, because you may think that if you reduce the input to the system, then the context would reduce, but that's not the case. There are ways in which you can smartly tweak the prompt so that the prompt is context based, it's concrete, and it doesn't lose relevance, so that the outputs are not hallucinated, right? So one of the strategies is to chunk the text smartly, right? So you can pre-chunk it, like normalizing, removing the white spaces, the new line characters and all. Many a times I have seen that people don't do that, right? So they would just extract the text and just push that text out to the models, and then you can always extract different clauses from the text and only send the relevant clauses to LLM, right? So clause extraction is another thing you can do to optimize the tokens. So let's say if you extracted from the document on 20 clauses, and let's say one clause was related to service, one related to data, maybe those two clauses you don't need for risk analysis, you only need to send those 18 clauses, right? And that too, not the entire document. So you have basically extracted what was needed from the document by dividing it into clauses, and then also not sending all the clauses to your different agents. So compliance may not need let's say some clause which risk analysis is using, right? And so on and so forth. So that is something you can try to put the logic into and you will see that the answers are not degrading, they are actually improving. The answers are improving and your token usage is reducing, um, and so on and so forth. And then obviously how you can avoid prompt repetition, right? And as already told, you should always normalize the text, removing repeated headers, page numbers, new line characters, white spaces, etc. Moving on, the third most important strategy is, you know if we talk about a contract review system, high risk document process, then it would be, you can do something known as intelligent agent routing, where uh, you know you just don't send the extracted text directly to risk agent, as I was mentioning, or to the compliance agent. So you can basically, based on the contract type also, you can skip a step, and even based on skip risk score, you can skip your third step of explainability if you are having that, and so on and so forth, right? So basically you can have an agent built before you do the risk and compliance steps, which identifies whether I need both of them, I need one of them, uh, and and if I need both of them, after the execution of those two agents, do I really need explainability agent for the two risk and compliance agents, something on those lines. So these are the decisions which can happen before even a single call is made to any of the agents. And by agents I mean the agents which require LLM. Generally ingestion would not require bedrock or LLM use, because ingestion is generally extraction of text, and so for that you would at maximum require Textract, and then you can use regex to convert the text into clause based JSON, and that JSON is then can then be used by your actual agents, which will use the LLM, right? Number fourth would be the caching strategy. This is actually very helpful for SaaS based companies, where if what happens is, generally you can basically hash a particular clause text, and then if that clause hash is matching with your new hash, then you can use the previous result. Okay, so if you are able to persist the result your risk or compliance agent is providing for a particular clause, and obviously you have created an hash for that clause, and if again the same clause is repeating next time, or after the first time, then you can use the same result instead of making a call again. So here you just totally don't make a call. This is also a very good strategy to reduce your costs. And obviously monitoring and observability, it goes without saying that even if you think that you have created a system which is really cost efficient, you it's basically a system in progress. So you should always keep on monitoring what is the cost per document, per tenant, maybe per month. So you can obviously, you have cloud watch metrics, you can log token usage, and so on and so forth. So with these strategies you can try to reduce costs, and basically optimize them. And just a bonus from my end, even config based cost analysis you can do, where in the tenant config, if you remember, we have these thresholds which we had put in some of our previous videos. You can add these attributes as well. So this makes it tenant level, based on the tenant. If it is a customer who is if there is a customer which is low risk customer, or or it is low cost customer, then you can just disable the explainability for that tenant, right? Because obviously the stakes are not that high, and on the other hand, if it's a high stakes customer, then you enable explainability, and you are okay with also pushing in more tokens, because obviously you want a better quality output for that customer. So you can make it tenant based as well, instead of just going with you know a, 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 an approach which is not robust, um, and which is not cost efficient, right? So hope all these concepts make sense to you. Now let me quickly show you couple of places where we were able to do this. So let me go to my ingestion file, and I'll show you how we were able to basically extract the clauses and push it into the output. So this is the ingestion agent we are having now. As you see, so couple of additional steps we are doing here. This is the handler. So we normalize the text. In this we remove the new line character and white spaces. The normalized text goes into split into clauses function, where we basically split the entire extracted text into various headings, such as clause type, and so on and so forth. Okay, and right, and then the output contains the clauses array. So instead of the extracted text, although we are sending it right now, this extracted text, the total text we can remove, and we can only have the clauses here, which will be an array containing different clauses. Like here I just printed it out to show you that it could be like this: clause type and the heading and the text under that clause, something like that. And then instead of we sending the entire text to both risk and compliance agents, we can basically send this array, and from that array also whatever clauses are not readed for risk, let's say we just remove those clauses from the array or from the text, which will actually make the prompt. And similarly for compliance as well, we do that. So in that way we optimize the tokens a lot. We reduce the tokens first of all, and remove the redundant or unnecessary step, which helps us a lot in cost reduction, right? So this is one way, the clause based extraction we have done. So we are optimizing the tokens here with that, and obviously the cleansing I told. And one more thing is, obviously the first thing was the intelligent model selection. So I'll show you. So for example, here in our case, for compliance we are using a model which is little bit stronger, right? Okay, so we use a Nova 2 Lite. Okay, as you can see here. But for risk analysis we are reducing that to a Nova Micro, because costs or token per token cost on Nova Micro obviously is lesser than Nova Lite. So that's how you can basically do some permutation combination to optimize your costs, and also other strategies also you can you can see if your use case permits using those strategies as well. So hope you like this video, and if at all, as I mentioned initially also, so me and my team, we help build and deploy compliance heavy document processes, and we do that with cost efficiency, auditability, and guardrails. So if at all you think that you want to do something similar, and if we can so if we can help you, so what you can do is, basically just book a consultation call with us, and we'll be there to help you. So me and my team, we help build and deploy production grade agentic AI systems on AWS, specifically um, compliance workflows, and high risk document workflows. um, so if you think that you want to uh, you want help in something similar to that, you can book a call, and someone from my team would be able to help you. So hope this was informative. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.